In the spring of 1789, the French monarchy faced financial collapse. Decades of war and lavish spending had exhausted the treasury. King Louis XVI summoned the Estates General, a representative body that had not met in 175 years, to approve new taxes. But the Third Estate, representing the vast majority of the population, demanded more than tax reform. It demanded political representation. In June 1789, it declared itself a national assembly and vowed not to disband until France had a written constitution. Louis XVI appeared to accept the demand, but he also gathered troops near Paris. Parisians, fearing a royal crackdown, took to the streets. On July 14, 1789, a crowd stormed the Bastille, a royal fortress that symbolized absolutist power. The revolution had begun. Initially, the revolutionaries did not seek to abolish the monarchy. The Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, adopted in August 1789, proclaimed liberty, equality, and the sovereignty of the nation. But it did not reject hereditary kingship. The Constitution of 1791 established a constitutional monarchy. Louis XVI remained head of state, though his authority was now limited by law. But trust in the king eroded. In June 1791, Louis attempted to flee France. He was captured near the border and returned to Paris under guard. The flight shattered the illusion that he accepted the revolution. Many now believed he was conspiring with foreign powers to overthrow the new order. In April 1792, France declared war on Austria. The war was intended to unite the nation and spread revolutionary principles. But it had the opposite effect. Military setbacks fueled suspicion and paranoia. Radicals accused moderates of sabotage. The king was suspected of treason. In August 1792, armed militants stormed the royal palace. The monarchy was suspended. A new assembly, the National Convention, was elected by universal male suffrage. On September 21, 1792, it formally abolished the monarchy and proclaimed the First French Republic. Louis XVI was placed on trial. The charge was treason. He had conspired with foreign enemies, the prosecution argued, to restore absolute rule and crush the revolution. The evidence was compelling. In January 1793, the convention voted to convict. On January 21st, Louis XVI was executed by guillotine in the Place de la Révolution. The execution of an anointed king was unprecedented. It was a symbolic and irreversible rejection of divine right, hereditary succession, and the entire edifice of traditional monarchy. Europe's kings reacted with horror. The war intensified. But the revolution did not stabilize. France faced foreign invasion, internal rebellion, economic crisis, and political fragmentation. In 1793, the convention established a revolutionary government dominated by the Committee of Public Safety. Its leader was Maximilien Robespierre, a lawyer and ideologue who believed that virtue and terror were inseparable in defense of the Republic. The reign of terror began. Thousands were arrested. Tribunals were established to try enemies of the revolution. The accused were often denied legal representation. Convictions were swift, executions swifter. Aristocrats, priests, political moderates, suspected traitors, all faced the guillotine. By the summer of 1794, the terror had claimed tens of thousands of lives. The revolutionaries justified the violence as necessary. The Republic was surrounded by enemies. Counter-revolutionaries plotted from within. Only vigilance and ruthless action could preserve liberty. But the terror consumed its own architects. Factions turned on one another. Robespierre, once the embodiment of revolutionary virtue, was accused of tyranny. In July 1794, he was arrested and executed without trial. The terror ended. The French Revolution had succeeded in abolishing monarchy, but it had also demonstrated the dangers of revolutionary radicalism. Popular sovereignty, unchecked by law or institutional restraint, had produced not liberty, but dictatorship and mass violence. The question of how to reconcile democratic ideals with political stability would haunt Europe for the next century.